Hello YouTube, my name is Venator, and I hope you all are having a wonderful week. In today's video, we are back on my prime Tyrannosaurus Rex, concluding our first run. And I won't lie, it's a rather sad ending, but we get a ton of awesome kills between now and then. I had a lot of fun on this guy and definitely got my time's worth, so be sure to stick around. And if you enjoy the video, please drop a like or comment below. It really helps me out. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the carnage. Picking up where we left off, I logged back in right up there at the top of the bridge of death where we last left off. And as you can see, got this nice sized dino body to fill my hunger back up to a reasonable level so we could move on. After leaving Delta, we made our way up to water access. That's when we came across these packies. We were heading to Highlands because we didn't really see anything here, but these guys decided they wanted to play with the Rex and see if they could get away with it. And this white packy, he messed up and it cost him his life. And then his buddy, unhappy that we killed his friend, decided to keep messing with us. He was following around, calling, and just alerting everyone to our presence. So I chased him down and he made the mistake of turning back into me within range of my crush bomb. We will gladly take these little snacks on our way back to Highlands. By the time we reached Highlands, we had this heavy fog roll in. The fog is wonderful for the Rex. It provides great cover to ambush things. We had several things just run right into us, like this aloe. And while he was finishing that up, I continued forward, and that's when I heard this dibble approaching, and he ran right in front of me, just like the aloe. The visibility being so low just makes a huge impact. And because this guy couldn't see, he didn't realize he was running right into the lake. So he was out of room to run and was dead either way, whether by me or a dino waiting in the water. And after the fog cleared, we finally hit our peak prime stats. We were now at the top of our game. 12.3 tons, 33.5 kilometers per hour, and 770 bite force. We are a force to be reckoned with. Since we were at our absolute peak now, we were ready to venture out and fight anything that came across our path. And we made our way over to the west rail area. And that's when we heard this group of Stegos talking just outside the jungle's edge. So we activated stealth mode and the stalk was on. And just like that, 3 adult Stegos were dead. They had absolutely no idea what hit them. And we weren't finished there. If you didn't notice, 2 of the Stegos, there was 5 total, ran off and were trying to make their way, looked like, towards the pond area. We tracked them past the pond towards this rock, heading down to the coast. And so that's when we decided to cut them off. When I got over here and finally came back across the smaller one, a Trike appeared. So I waited on Legolas to see if this Trike was wanting to fight. But he was not. He correctly retreated back up onto the rocks where he could easily defend his position. And we were not about to just throw our health away trying to get him off there. So we shifted our focus to the sole remaining large Stego. And I had a hunch he was going over here behind these rocks to try and log out, and the smaller one only confirmed my suspicions by turning and running back towards us to try and distract him. Unbeknownst to him though, he got within the murder sprint range, so I was able to run him down and kill this guy while Legolas continued the search. This is why peak Prime Rex is so dangerous. You have a speed of 33.5 kilometers an hour, and with your ambush speed, I don't know the exact increase, but it makes you pretty quick, and you can run down most large targets at this stage. Now once you hit 100%, you're going to be very, very slow. But anyway, I made my way back over here because Legolas wasn't able to find the Stego, but I was determined. I burned all my stamina to get behind these furthest rocks, and sure enough, I found him. And while I was doing that and continuing the tail end of the search, Legolas got his stamina back, so he was able to swim across and put this guy down. All I could do was sit and regain my stamina and enjoy the show. And after West Rail, we made our way to Top Pond, deciding to try and ambush things crossing at the bridge, but another pair of Rexes found us and tried to make us the ambushees. This fight started out pretty good. I hit the flip and missed the follow-up crush bite, but either way, it wasn't too bad of start. So I retreated back to Legolas on the bridge, and then this is where I made a huge mistake. This Vigilante Rex was smaller than me. I was able to stun him and continuously bite him, but in the heat of the moment, in our first actual 2v2 as Prime Rexes, I got too fancy and tried to disengage and get more crush bites on the bigger Rex. In doing so, allowed this Vigilante to get bites on Legolas. I then accidentally bit Legolas a few times, which led to his death. A big misplay on my part. But all was not lost, at least. I was still able to get the kill off on this bigger Rex. I'm not sure how. Maybe just because of the wonkiness that is the broken leg fighting, but I was able to stay behind him pretty well and just kept hitting bites, just hoping that the bites from the smaller Rex didn't kill me. And after the big one went down, I turned my attention to the Vigilante, and after a couple bites, he realized he might not be winning this, and since somehow he wasn't leg broken, he turned tail and ran. So my first 2v2 as a Prime Rex did not turn out the best. I could have played that a lot better, and Legolas would still be alive. But hey, that's the Isle. You live and you learn. As a Dino, it took a long time to get 2v2s down, and we often had a lot of friendly fire that would lead to our deaths. And that's where I called that session. But the next time I was on, I healed up and made my way to Highlands to meet up with my buddy Seawick. And he was being chased by this large Stego, so we set up an ambush. This guy had no idea I was here, and Seawick was able to lead him straight to me, setting up an amazing kill that would feed us both for the time being while he continued on his grow. He would be a Prime in no time. And while Seawick was growing, I crossed back over to the center part in between the two lakes to do some ambush hunting. I had heard some Saras off in the distance making their way towards us, from what it sounded like. Highland Lake is the perfect hunting ground for Rex. With the new changes and the addition of all these large bushes, you are the ambush king in this area, because only your third-person camera is tall enough to see over all of these bushes. So these Sarahs couldn't see me behind that bush, while I can clearly see them coming from a ways off. And not long after, I had this poor dibble run by. I set myself up right next to a herbivore bush, hoping that something would show up, and I didn't have to wait long. And as for the head shaking, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I'm doing that. I was told that shaking while you have something in the crush increases the damage. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but hopefully some of you Rex mains out there in the comments can enlighten me on that mechanic and whether or not I was led astray. Anyway, I made my way closer to the sanctuary, and that's when I spotted this albino trike. And so I set up an ambush to see if I could get this guy down. Luckily for me, he was not a full prime, so the fight was pretty one-sided. When you're fighting a trike, you obviously want to stay behind it and staying out of the way of those big horns. His double thrash attack is his most powerful move, and if you get hit by that, it can really mess you up pretty quick, even if you're bigger than him. So dodging at all costs is important. Like, look at that. I just got hit by the thrash and it changed my screen 2 shades of blood. That's a lot of damage, especially when you're a 12-ton Rex. But even though I messed up a few times and took the unneeded thrash, I was able to get this guy down. A great kill on my first Prime Rex run. And for our conclusion, well, I had met up with a random Rex. He was smaller than I was, but still a Prime. And I told him that there was 2 full Primes in Highlands, and I had seen them fighting a Trike, and I was headed the other way. But he said that he was down to go fight and try and take the lake area for ourselves. So we crept over, and I tried to set up an ambush. I entered this fight, and, well, I was a little premature, and I guess my random teammate thought that all was lost, and so he abandoned and immediately ran away. So, I was left to die against 2 Rexes. But, hey, that's the way of the Isle, and I was at least able to take one of these guys with me, because he was hurt from fighting the Trike like I thought. Either way though, I had a ton of fun on this Rex, and we had a lot of good moments. It's unfortunate to die anytime as an animal this large and takes that long to grow, but that's the way of the game, and I've grown several more since this time, and I've had a ton of fun on Rex. With the recent Dino changes, Rex is quickly becoming my second favorite. I keep switching back and forth in between Rex and Aloe on what my second most played dialogue would be, but Rex is sure giving Aloe a run for its money. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you all next time, and happy hunting.